Have you ever looked around your childhood bedroom? Posters still on the wall, the creaky bed, and that weird lampshade you picked up in year 8 and thought, wait, why am I still here? You've probably done everything you were supposed to. You went to uni, you got a job, maybe even pay your own taxes and say kind regards in emails now. And yet, you're still brushing your teeth in the same sink you used to when you were 13. And let's not lie, yeah, the free food's nice, the Wi-Fi's reliable, and the heating actually works. But this isn't what you imagined when you pictured adult life, right? What's wild is how quickly the vibe can shift from I'm just saving money to why do I still have my year 6 trophies on display? Like you blink and suddenly you're a full grown adult with a LinkedIn profile, still living in the room with the glow in the dark stars on the ceiling. It's like we're all waiting for this magical moment when life's supposed to start. Like the switch flips and suddenly you got your own place, a garden, and you've cracked the code to adulting. But then you realise this is adulting, and it looks a lot like staring at your childhood bedroom and wondering when you're actually going to make the jump. Here's the first thing you need to know. You're not alone. In the UK, around 3.6 million young adults aged 20 to 34 are still living at home with their parents. That's about 1 in 4 people in that age group. So if it ever feels like you're the only one still eating dinner at your mum's table, you're not. You're literally in the same boat as millions of others. It's not like people aren't trying to move out either. The desire is there. But when rent is wild, wages are stagnant, and the housing market looks like a rigged game of Jenga, it's no surprise people are choosing the stability of home over the stress of scraping by on their own. It's not about being stuck, it's about surviving. What's frustrating though, is the constant pressure from society to move out. It's like there's an invisible timeline that's telling you, you should be living independently by this age or else you've failed. But the truth is, just because you're living at home doesn't mean you're not moving forward. It's just a different path, and sometimes a smarter one. Let's talk about rent. If you're thinking of moving out, you've probably had a look at Rightmove or Zoopla and nearly fainted. A one-bedroom flat in London can cost anything from £1,500 to £2,000 a month. And that's not even a luxury flat. That's the kind of place where the windows rattle, neighbours play drum and bass at 2 AM, and the landlord says furnished, but it's literally one plastic chair. And if you're renting with flatmates, that doesn't make it any better. You might save a few £100 here and there, sure, but you're dealing with dishes in the sink from 2 days ago, missing oat milk, and someone who thinks it's okay to practice saxophone at midnight. The price you pay for independence isn't just money, it's also your sanity. The crazy thing is, even when you're paying these insane amounts of rent, you're not exactly getting a home in return. You're just paying for a small overpriced box with thin walls and the constant stress of whether you'll have enough food left over at the end of the month. And let's not forget flatmates who steal your eggs and never take out the bins. Yeah, that's some independence, right? And while rent's going up, guess what hasn't? Wages. After inflation, the average wage in the UK for people under 30 has barely increased over the past decade. Many people in their 20s and early 30s are earning less now than people the same age were earning in 2008. So basically, everything costs more and you're earning less. How is that supposed to work? It's honestly like playing life on hard mode with half the resources. You work just as hard, maybe even harder, but the paycheck just doesn't stretch. By the time you pay the bills, cover the essentials, and try to have some kind of life, there's barely anything left. Saving for a flat deposit? It's starting to feel like saving for a trip to the moon. What's even worse is how companies expect you to be grateful for entry-level salaries that barely cover the basic living costs. They call it experience, but trust me, experience doesn't pay the rent or keep the lights on. The math just doesn't add up, and it's leaving a lot of people stuck in jobs they can't stand anymore because they can't afford to leave them. And if you went to uni, welcome to student loan life. In England, the average student finishes uni with about 40,000 in debt. And no, that doesn't magically go away just because you're eating vegetables and paying national insurance. Repayments sneak out of your salary, and the interest keeps growing. The total balance? Yeah, it kind of just sits there like it has a grudge. What makes it worse is how little people get in return for the mountain of debt. A degree used to mean better job prospects and financial security. Now, you're lucky if they even get you a role that pays slightly more than minimum wage and includes free coffee. Not bad coffee, just free. And the thing is, you're paying for something that might not even be relevant to your job. A degree in philosophy might not help you land a high-paying tech role, but you're still stuck with that debt. The reality is, most students aren't fighting to make ends meet. They're fighting to break free from a system that doesn't seem to have been built to help them thrive. Now, real talk. Living at home isn't necessarily a bad thing. If your home situation is safe, supportive, and your parents are totally cool with it, honestly, it can be a smart move. You're saving money, you're not stressing over rent, and sometimes you even get a proper home-cooked meal that doesn't involve oven chips and regret. Plus, there's no shame in choosing comfort over chaos. You might actually be in a better position down the line because you stayed put, saved up, and avoided the stress of juggling bills and burnt toast every week. It's not failure, it's strategy. The whole move out by 25 thing is outdated. Everyone's journey looks completely different now. Living at home also means you're not throwing away money on random takeaways because you don't have the energy to cook in a tiny kitchen. You're not stressing over bills. You're not drowning in debt just to have the place to call your own. Sometimes, staying at home means you get the headspace to figure out your next move, which honestly is more important than rushing into something that you're not ready for. So what does adulthood look like now? Is this the new normal? Are young people being delayed or adapting to a system that wasn't really built for them? Because let's be honest, you're doing everything right. You're working hard, you're saving when you can, and still moving out feels impossible. This entire generation has basically been given the same rulebook as our parents, but the game has completely changed now. Housing is unaffordable, job markets are unstable, and expectations are still stuck in 1995. No wonder so many people feel burnt out before they even get started. You're not behind, the whole timeline needs a rewrite. Adulthood should be about building life on your terms, not sticking to some outdated checklist that doesn't even make sense anymore. You should be allowed to take your time and figure it out without the pressure of comparing yourself to a perfect version of adulthood. It's okay to not have it all figured out. In fact, it's more than okay. It's normal. So, if you're still at home, don't feel bad. You're not failing, you're just being realistic. You're navigating adulthood in a world where independence costs more than most people can actually afford. And you know what? Staying at home, saving up, building a plan, that's smart. That's strategic. You're not falling behind, you're playing the long game. So let people talk. Let them ask you when you're moving out. Just smile and enjoy your Sunday roast, and remember, you're not stuck. You're just not about to pay £1,500 a month for a box of mouldy windows. Hit like if this spoke to you, subscribe for more, and send this to someone who's currently vibing in their old bedroom. No shame at all.